Welcome to the Dropship.com podcast. Today, we're bringing you more e-commerce insights, dropshipping strategies, and all the inspiration you need to grow your business. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, this podcast is your one-stop shop for success. Ready to roll? Here are your hosts, Ava and Noah.
All right, so you guys are looking to make some serious noise with your dropshipping store without spending a ton of cash, right? Well, today we're diving deep into a Dropship.com podcast episode that's absolutely packed with free marketing strategies. I'm talking about real actionable tips that can boost your visibility without spending a dime.
Yeah, and you know what's really cool about this episode is that they don't just rehash the same old tired tips. They actually go into some surprisingly effective methods that most people haven't even considered.
Okay, so let's jump right in. First up, they talk about social media, which of course we all know is important, but I'm curious to see what fresh perspectives they bring to the table.
Well, they really emphasize treating social media like its own bustling marketplace, you know? Think about it. Vibrant product photos, those little sneak peeks behind the scenes of your business, and customer testimonials that pack a punch. Those are the things that really make people stop scrolling.
Makes sense. It's all about creating content that actually grabs people's attention.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of those short-form videos either. Platforms like Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, they're practically built for organic reach. If you can hook people in those first few seconds, you're golden.
I've been hearing so much about short-form video lately. Is it really that much more effective than just posting, like regular images?
Oh, it can be, especially for dropshippers. Think about it. You can do quick product demos, showcase those authentic customer reactions, even give people a peek at your packaging process. It injects personality and builds trust.
So it's not just about posting the video, it's about what's in the video.
Exactly. And here's a little pro tip from the episode. Don't be a ghost. Engage with those followers. Respond to comments, answer questions, even just like a quick thanks or an emoji. That daily interaction can really move the needle when it comes to your sales.
Yeah, it's almost like you're having these mini conversations with potential customers, right?
Uh-huh.
Instead of just shouting into the void.
Exactly. Okay, so let's shift gears for a sec and talk about a strategy that can work for you 24/7, even while you're catching those Z's. Blogging. The episode highlights its potential for attracting long-term traffic through Google searches.
I've always thought of blogging as more of a way to build your brand, but I can see how it could directly lead to sales if it's done strategically.
Oh, for sure. A well-written blog post, it can stay relevant and attract visitors for years. Think about that. Unlike a paid ad, it doesn't just disappear when your budget runs dry.
And speaking of getting found on Google, they bring up SEO, or search engine optimization, something I know a little bit about, but always happy to learn more.
They stress the importance of keyword research. Luckily, there are free tools out there like Ubersuggest that can help you figure out what people are actually typing in when they're searching for products like yours. And then, by strategically incorporating those keywords into your product descriptions and blog posts, you can seriously boost your website's ranking.
So it's like speaking Google's language so it knows what your site is all about.
You got it. But it's not just about keywords. They also emphasize how important website speed is for SEO. Google loves websites that load quickly. So if you can optimize your site's performance, that can give you a real edge.
Oh yeah, I've definitely been guilty of clicking away from websites that take forever to load. It's just not a good experience.
Exactly, and Google knows that.
Yeah.
So this next one, a lot of dropshippers kind of shy away from it because they think it requires a big budget, but the episode really challenges that assumption. Influencer marketing. But they focus on the power of micro-influencers.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So who are these micro-influencers and why are they so valuable?
Micro-influencers typically have a following of, maybe 1,000 to 50,000 people, and they're often a lot more open to collaborations in exchange for products, especially if your products fit their niche.
So it's less about paying huge sums of money and more about building those win-win relationships.
You got it. And the episode suggests some really creative ways to collaborate. Like you could offer free products for an honest review or a shout out. You could run giveaways together to boost brand awareness. You could even guest feature on their social media, blog, or YouTube channel.
I love that. It's all about leveraging each other's strengths and reaching new audiences in a way that feels genuine.
And that authenticity is key. People are much more likely to trust a recommendation from an influencer they follow, especially if it's a smaller influencer with a more engaged audience.
It's like that trusted friend effect, right? We're way more likely to try something if someone we admire recommends it. Okay, so what else did this episode dive into?
Well, they spent a good chunk of time talking about video marketing, specifically on platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reels. They argue that these platforms have the potential to really skyrocket your brand's visibility without spending a single dollar on advertising.
Yeah, I can see that. Those platforms are all about that short, engaging content that can go viral so quickly. But what kinds of videos should dropshippers be creating?
They suggest a few different approaches. You could create really compelling product demos that show your products in action, capture those authentic customer reactions like unboxings and testimonials, or even offer those little behind-the-scenes glimpses to kind of humanize your brand.
It's all about showing, not just telling, right?
Yeah.
Giving people a real feel for your products and what your brand is all about.
Exactly. And because these platforms are known for their viral potential, even a short little 15-second video can blow up and send tons of traffic to your store.
Wow, that's powerful. It's like a dropshipper's dream come true. Okay, this is all fantastic, but are there any more of these free marketing gems in this episode?
Oh, there are. They also highlight the importance of engaging in online communities and forums related to your niche, like think Reddit, Quora, Facebook groups. These platforms can be absolute gold mines for connecting with potential customers who are already interested in what you have to offer.
But isn't there a risk of coming across as spammy in those groups? And I've seen people get called out for just dropping links.
You're right. It's definitely a delicate balance. The key is to provide genuine value, really participate in discussions and subtly introduce your products only when it feels natural and relevant. It's more about building relationships and becoming a trusted resource than making a hard sell.
So be a helpful member of the community first and a business owner second. Got it. What else?
They also mentioned Facebook Marketplace. It's often overlooked, but it can be a valuable platform for dropshippers. It's a great way to tap into a local audience who are already searching for products like yours. And they emphasize the importance of those high-quality images, clear and engaging product descriptions, and responding to inquiries quickly.
I never would have thought to use Facebook Marketplace for dropshipping. It seems so simple but effective.
It really can be. In fact, a lot of dropshippers actually get their very first sales on Facebook Marketplace before they even think about paid advertising. It's a great way to test the waters and start building some momentum.
This is fantastic information. I have a feeling there's even more to unpack, right? What else did this episode cover?
Well, they wrapped up by really emphasizing the importance of consistency when it comes to free marketing. It's not a one-and-done kind of deal. You can't just implement these strategies once and expect overnight success. It's all about showing up consistently, nurturing your online presence, and building those relationships over time.
It's like working out, right? One trip to the gym isn't going to magically transform your body. You have to keep showing up and putting in the work over the long haul.
It's the perfect analogy. And just like with fitness, you might need to experiment a little bit to find what routines work best for you, what resonates most with your audience.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of approach. You have to be willing to adapt and refine your strategies as you go. What if someone's feeling a little overwhelmed by all the options, though?
Totally understandable. The episode suggests starting small. Choose maybe one or two of these free marketing strategies that feel like the best fit for your business and really commit to implementing them consistently. And then as you gain confidence and experience, you can always add more to the mix.
Great advice. It's so easy to get caught up in trying to do everything at once, but that just leads to burnout.
It does. Focus your energy where it'll make the biggest impact. And remember, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Look at what other successful dropshippers are doing in your niche, Learn from their strategies.
There's so much we can learn from each other, especially in the entrepreneurial world. So we've covered a lot of ground already, but what does all of this actually mean for you, our listener, who's ready to build a thriving dropshipping business without breaking the bank?
The key takeaway here is that you already have so many powerful tools at your disposal. It's not about relying solely on paid ads. It's about being resourceful and creative. And most importantly, it's about connecting with your audience in a genuine way.
Yeah, and it's funny that a lot of people get caught up in this idea that you need to spend a ton of money on ads to be successful. But this episode really turns that whole notion on its head.
It does. And what's so great about these free strategies is that they often lead to more genuine engagement and stronger relationships with your customers. It's not just about getting people to see your products. It's about building a community around your brand.
And that sense of community can be so powerful, especially in the online world, where it's easy to feel disconnected.
Absolutely. So before we move on, I want to reiterate a point that the episode really drove home. Consistency is key. You can't just do this stuff once and expect to see amazing results. It's about showing up consistently, nurturing your online presence, and building those relationships over time.
It really is like working out, isn't it? One trip to the gym isn't going to magically transform your body. You have to keep going and putting in the effort.
You got it. And just like with fitness, you might need to try a few different things to figure out what works best for you and your dropshipping store. Some methods are going to resonate more with your audience than others.
So there's no one-size-fits-all approach here. You need to be willing to adjust as you go.
That's right. And you don't have to do everything at once either. Pick one or two of these free marketing strategies that feel like the best fit for you and your business and really focus on implementing them consistently. As you get more comfortable and see what's working, you can always add more to your plate.
That's really great advice. It's so easy to feel overwhelmed when you're first starting out, thinking you need to do everything at once.
Right. It's all about building a sustainable marketing plan that really works for you and your unique business.
There's so much good stuff here. But I think it's time for us to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll discuss how to actually put these strategies into action. Okay, so we've talked about a lot already, everything from social media to blogging and SEO, but like, what does all this mean for you guys, our listeners? The ones out there who are actually trying to build a successful dropshipping business without going broke.
The big takeaway is you don't have to spend a ton of money on ads to be successful. You just got to be smart and creative. And honestly, connect with your audience in a way that feels real.
It's so true. I think so many people get stuck in that mindset of, I got to spend money to make money. But this episode really debunks that whole myth.
It really does. And the best part is these free marketing methods often end up leading to way more genuine engagement and stronger relationships with your customers. You're not just trying to shove your product in their face, you're actually building a community.
And that community aspect is so huge, especially online, where it's so easy to feel like you're just shouting into the void.
Couldn't agree more. And one thing I really want to stress before we move on is that consistency is so important. You can't just try these strategies once and then expect the sales to come pouring in.
Totally. It's like anything else in life, right? It's like going to the gym.
Yeah.
One workout isn't going to make you look like a fitness model. You have to keep going, keep putting in the work to see those real results.
Yeah, the perfect analogy. And just like with fitness, you might have to try a few different things before you figure out what works best for you.
Exactly. Some things are going to work better than others. You got to experiment.
You got it. It's all about finding what clicks with your audience. And don't feel like you have to tackle everything at once either. Start small.
That's really good advice, because I think that's where a lot of people get overwhelmed. It's like, oh my God, there's so much to do.
Totally. Pick one or two strategies that feel right for your business and then just commit to doing those really well. And as you start to see some success, you can always add more to your plate.
I love that. Okay, so before we wrap up this deep dive, we wanted to leave you guys with a challenge.
Yeah, so we've talked about a ton of different free marketing tactics, but what's the one thing you're going to commit to doing this week? Are you going to try making a TikTok video, write a blog post, maybe connect with some people in a Facebook group?
Whatever it is, the most important thing is that you actually take action. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just start small.
And remember, you don't need a ton of money to make a big impact. You just got to be smart and consistent. And most importantly, you got to be excited about what you're doing.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So what free marketing tactic are you going to try? Let us know. Hit us up on social media. We'd love to hear from you.
And remember, dropshipping success is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be bumps in the road, but if you stick with it and stay persistent, you can totally build a brand you love and a business that thrives.
So true. And that's a wrap for this deep dive into free marketing for dropshippers. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two, maybe got a little inspiration.
We'll see you next time. Keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep that entrepreneurial spirit alive.
Or maybe you finally get around to optimizing your website so it loads super fast. The point is, you don't need to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Just start somewhere.
Yeah, and those little steps can really make a difference. Actually, the episode mentioned this dropshipper who got their very first sale just by posting in a Facebook group. They weren't even trying to sell anything.
What? Really?
Yeah, they were just chatting with people and giving advice, and then someone was like, hey, I actually need that product you were just talking about.
I love that. It just shows that free marketing isn't always about being pushy, It's about connecting with people and being helpful and generous.
Exactly. When you focus on providing real value, people are way more likely to trust you and want to support your business.
It's all about those authentic connections, right?
Absolutely. And the more you nurture those connections, the more your business will grow organically.
Love that. It's that snowball effect we've been talking about, right?
Exactly. You start small, stay consistent, and things just keep building and building. And you know what else is great about free marketing? It's not just about growing your business, it's about growing you as an entrepreneur.
How so?
Well, you're constantly learning new things, trying new approaches, figuring out what works. It's all about that continuous improvement. That's so true. I feel like I learn something new every single day. And that's what makes this whole journey so exciting. There's always something to learn and new ways to challenge yourself.
I couldn't agree more. It's a constant evolution. So before we say goodbye, I wanted to leave you with one last thought.
Oh, I love a good parting thought.
Don't be afraid to have fun and experiment with these free marketing strategies. There's no one right way to do things. The most important thing is to figure out what works for you and your business.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So go out there and try some new things, share your wins, ask questions if you get stuck, and never stop learning.
And that's a wrap for this deep dive into free marketing for dropshippers. Hope you guys enjoyed it.
Until next time, keep that entrepreneurial spirit burning bright.
That's it for today on the Dropship.com podcast. We hope you got some value out of this episode. If you're looking to stay ahead in e-commerce and dropshipping, the Dropship.com newsletter is where we dive deeper into the latest trends, news, and strategies. Delivered every Monday and Thursday. Don't miss it. Subscribe with the link below.